Hi everyone, today I wanted to tell you more about lavender propagation. I propagated all my lavender. Some of you know my hedge from my Instagram. I often share videos, short videos about how to propagate lavender, and I wanted to create a longer video and tell you a little bit more and share more details and explain more how to take cuttings at the end of the summer. And I just need to say that lavender can be propagated almost all year round. So you can propagate it in the springtime and in the summertime, in the autumn time, and even in those cold months of winter. What I would avoid is only days where it's really frosty, probably because I don't want to be outside either, and I wouldn't cut my lavender when it's really frosty. But apart from that, there are different methods for every season, and I wanted to break those methods into a few videos, and this one is about semi-ripe cuttings. And semi-ripe, as the name says, semi means half of something, and semi-ripe is a cutting that you take at the end of the season, is when your lavender stems of your lavender have developed woody part, but it's also soft on top, and I'll show you in a second what I mean. Yes, so you see, this is one of my lavender plants, and you can tell that at that point, by the end of summer, beginning of autumn, lavender starts growing. So you see there are new shoots like this one, and they are your semi-ripe cuttings, and I show you exactly why they are called semi-ripe. So what I do, I just kind of pull the stem with a bit of a heel, as you can see here. I just pulled it. I don't even need scissors or secateurs. I just pull it like that. It's absolutely fine. The plant is not going to suffer. And this is your semi-ripe cutting, and as you can see, I do a bit of a close-up. So you see the lower part of your stem is woody, so you can see the brown bit which is woody, and then the cutting on top is soft, and that is your semi-ripe cutting. Those cuttings will root within the next few months, so over winter, and they will have quite strong roots in the springtime. So if you take your cuttings now and you leave them over winter, they will be turning into seedlings in early spring. So what you can do, you can pot them up later, and I will share another video about it. But in this video I will show you also in a minute what to do next. So I've taken my cuttings. I always take my cuttings in the morning if I can, but if for whatever reason you take cuttings in your friends' gardens or your family gardens, you can keep them in a plastic bag or a Tupperware. I wouldn't recommend to keep lavender for too long, because lavender responds really badly to moisture, but any other cuttings you can keep for days in bags and plastic bags and in the water, but I wouldn't recommend it for lavender. It will survive for a day or so, but then I would very quickly reduce any level of moisture. Lavender does not like moisture. So what I've got, I've taken my cuttings. Some of them are a little bit longer than others, and that's absolutely fine. In gardening, the best thing to remember is that there are so many different ways of doing things. There are a few rules, but don't worry if you break few of them, because if you do it at the right time and you take the right cutting, you will have nature on your side. And I do work in hard harmony with nature. I'm trying to do as much as possible for the environment, and taking cuttings is one of those things, because just imagine the impact that I would have if I buy 100 lavender plants, which I propagated in the first year of growing here in my garden. All the packaging, people delivering it, and etc. So taking cuttings is really environmentally friendly, and it saves a lot of money. So I've taken my cuttings. What I will do now, as you see, some are a bit bigger, some are a bit shorter. That's absolutely fine. They are, I would say, approximately, let me see, they probably 1, 2, 3, 4 inches long, I would say. So what you need to do next is you need to remove the lower foliage from all your cuttings that you take. That is the rule that we need to follow. So we remove them and we leave the top. We reduce as much as we can, but we do need a bit of foliage. So there it is, your cutting. As you can see, this is your semi-ripe cutting. You see the lower part of the cutting is woody. You can see clearly, and then the rest, the top of your cutting, is soft. And this is your semi-ripe cutting that we take in late summer, early autumn. So there it is. Now, next step. I wanted to say, before we get to the next stage, I wanted to say that I am recording this video within a few days, so it's not all happening in one day, but I'm using the same cuttings that I have taken yesterday. This is just to show you that if you are busy and you haven't got the time to finish the process, it is absolutely fine, because most cuttings will do well. And the only thing to remember is, and I show you just in a second my lavender cuttings, the only thing to remember is that not all cuttings can be stored the same way. So as I said in the first part of the video, lavender does not like moisture. So I would not put my cuttings in any bags or plastic bags or Tupperware. I would, if you travel, or you take cuttings from your family or friends' gardens and you travel with them, the thing to remember is that you give them a bit of water. You see at the base they still have a bit of water to drink and to stay fresh, but you don't cover them. You could cover other cuttings, which I will focus on in my other videos, but not lavender. So they have been taken yesterday and they are absolutely fine. So this is a very important part of propagation and of this video as well, is what compost you use. Just imagine that your cuttings, what you want from your cuttings is develop roots. It's almost like you encourage them to search for nutrients and not giving them the nutrients at this stage. And that's exactly what you want. Drainage is very important, especially when we talk about lavender, because lavender does not like standing in the water, does not want the roots to be in the water. So this is what is very important, and it's also most reasons why your cuttings don't survive or die or don't do well is the type of compost you use. And you can buy, this is actually already made, it's seeds and cutting compost, so there are not many nutrients in this compost. It's sand based, but you could, if you don't want to buy one from your garden center, you can make it. So you could use a normal compost and mix some sand, and it will be the same result. Just remember that it has to be very light, it has to be very well draining. What I also do, and I show you in a minute, I add horticultural grit, and what that is they are just little stones like this, you can see. And what they do, they basically make it even more well draining, because you see when I water this, the water will very quickly drain through the compost mixed with the horticultural grid, and this way my cuttings will get enough moisture to create roots, but the roots will not stand in the water. So you see what a difference it makes. It's very light, it's absolutely perfect, and this is one of the biggest secrets of propagation, because I leave all my plants, all my potted cuttings outside. All the lavender, we are in quite a mild area, so I would say the coldest as it gets in the winter time is probably -3 or -4. Just to show you the difference, this is a peat-free general purpose compost, and you can see how dark it is compared to mine that I'm going to use for cuttings. It's quite rich, and it's good for new seedlings or older plants, but cuttings would really struggle to develop roots in this really kind of dense and rich in nutrients compost. So this isn't very good, but this is absolutely perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pot up my seedlings, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So it's very important that you know that all your plant pots have to have holes for the water to drain. Sometimes, if you like, you can add extra stones just for extra drainage, but because this is so light, it's absolutely fine, and this will be great for my cuttings. So I'm just going to fill it with compost. So now I've got my plant pot filled with my compost for propagation. I removed, as I said in the first part of the video, I removed the lower leaves from my cuttings, as you see here, and they are ready to be potted up. So I just wanted to say that the rooting powder is not necessary. Semi-ripe cuttings will root really easily. Lavender in general is one of the easiest plants to propagate, so you really don't need any equipment. All I do is, before I put it in a plant pot, I just scrape a little bit of the bark, because this is your semi-ripe cutting. So you see, this is still the new growth and is soft, but the base of the cutting is woody. And I, with my nails, you don't need any special knife, any special equipment, with my nails I just scrape a little bit of that bark, and this is where the roots will start developing. So that's all you need to do, and no rooting powder is needed. You can, of course, if you want, but no need. So that's all, and the nature will do her thing in the background. So this is all done, and as you can see, I've got my lavender cuttings in this plant pot. I'm going to store this plant pot outside over the winter. It is September now, so you can take semi-ripe cuttings anytime between end of August until late autumn. So this is a perfect timing. They will root over the next few months, possibly even weeks if we're lucky, but I would not do anything with them for another couple of months until next spring. And I will show you in another video when you can tell that your cuttings are ready for the next stage. They really just doing their thing in the background, and you do not need to do anything. You don't need a greenhouse, you don't need any special equipment, you don't even need rooting powder, to be honest, because nature is incredible and it will do her thing in the background, and you can just focus on other projects. And that's what's the best thing about propagation. I very often just let things happening in the background as I focus on other things, and this way I manage to create a garden from seeds and cuttings, because I work in harmony with nature and I use nature as part of my team, and we together create some lovely plants, and this is the best example. So that's my part for now, and I will show you in another video what my lovely nature will do for us in the background. So if you would like to subscribe to my channel, please do. As I said, I'm just starting, so this is my second video. I'm going to improve. The sound will be better at some point, and the picture as well. But at the moment I just want to extend that content that I share on Instagram, because it's very short and it's obviously for, you know, it works. People still learned a lot from my short videos, but I would like to give that extra information and to make you feel really confident and show you what's possible, because it really is. You know, I don't really use much equipment. All I use is few sticks. I've got a spade. I do not use much. It's just nature and me. So I really hope you will do the same, and together we can really help our planet, because propagation is such a wonderful way of positively contributing to our environment, and I really hope I can inspire you. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I will be back with more content and more videos, but thank you for watching for now, and speak to you soon and see you all soon.